Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to this new moon ritual in Virgo. It is the start of September. We're transitioning. There is a lot happening. So, if you're familiar with the zodiac signs, Virgo is a very earth sign, very grounded, very logical, very rational. They're great for getting things done. And on the surface, a lot of Virgos seem like they have it all together. They're as cool as a cucumber, but they're very, very deep. Think of the earth and how deep the earth goes. Virgo are exactly the same. When Virgo is imbalanced, they are very organized, they complete tasks, they're really, really good company to be around. But when Virgo energy is out of balance, then they can go really inward. They don't share how they're feeling. They try and figure it out all by themselves. And they can begin to procrastinate and sit on things, become really, really slow to uptake anything or change anything because they're very solid. They like to have structure. They like things to stay the same. They don't really like change. And this is interesting coming into this time of year because we're transitioning from summer, if you're in the northern hemisphere, into autumn. Um, and a lot of Virgos dislike this transition because they're like, oh, I've just kind of got my flow, my rhythm for the summer, and now it's over. I don't want to transition. So they're kind of pulling back, and you can often feel the mood change as well. Now, I know I'm referring to Virgo zodiac signs, but because it's Virgo season and Virgo new moon, we can be feeling those Virgo symptoms or characteristics within our own selves. So the question is, how do you feel about transitioning from summer to autumn? How do you feel moving into this new chapter? Do you want things to stay the same? Do you dislike change? So having those self-reflective questions are really, really, really important. Now, with all new moons, it's about new intentions, setting your sights for the first 2 weeks of the month, but also the month ahead. But here we are in the new quarter. It is the last quarter of 2024. So if things haven't been working out for you, if you haven't been doing what lights you up or what you're passionate about, don't let that spoil this year for you. How about you change your perspective and start doing what you love or doing what brings you joy? Because if you don't do it for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. So start showing up for yourself. If you want to feel a certain way, what can you do every day to make sure that part of you and those needs are being met? Whether that's exercise, whether that's hugs, whether that's planning that retreat or that workshop or getting on the mat. Like, what brings you joy? We know what we don't like, but do we often tune into what we do like? So when you look after the self, and a lot of us have been brought up, don't be selfish, don't focus on yourself, don't do what you want to do what everyone else wants you to do, or be what everyone else thinks that you should be. And this is all just belief systems, this is all societal constructs and ways. So we're here to break those patterns. We're here to change our perspective, because if that's been serving you, amazing. But if it hasn't been bringing you happiness and joy, fulfillment, well, it's time to scrap those beliefs and rewrite your story. So you have 4 months to rewrite your story, because what happens is we're like, oh, 2024 was a write-off. I'll just wait till January. And what happens then is we bring all of those beliefs, we bring all of those habits into 2025, into the new year. So do your future self a favor and start acting and doing things that are going to be fulfilling, light that fire inside your belly, and help you to jump up out of the bed every single day. So if you're watching this as a recording, maybe you could go and reflect on these questions and just really sit with it, because anything is possible. This is, what I keep receiving this year. It's like, let's pierce the glass ceiling, or let's break the glass ceiling and pierce through the veil of illusion, because, we've set the bar for ourselves. Oh, I can't do that. Oh no, that's not possible for me. So what's the difference between you and the person that you admire, or the person that you want to be, or the person that inspires you? You all have the same um, makeup, as in you have a body, you have a mind, you have a soul, you have a spirit. So everybody is basically the same. But it is really your choice and your perspective that is going to get you to where you want to be, because everything happens in the mind. Everything is decided in the mind. So if you decide that you can't do something, then you can't do it. Or if you decide you want to be a certain way, you'll be that way. So I would really, really love if you could spend the next week just tuning into your beliefs, tuning into your perspective. And if it's a positive one, amazing. Like I said, keep going, keep working with that. But if it's not serving you, if your own thoughts aren't bringing you joy, well, then it's time to change the tune, because we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and the majority of them are the same tune being sung every single day. So if we're not aware of it, how can we change it? So the Virgo new moon is also asking you to set a routine. I don't have any children, but I always find the summer energy extremely chaotic. Like I have no gym routine. I kind of just like see what the weather's like. And that's really lovely to just kind of give a break from the structure. But what I do find when that happens is that I don't get as much done. I don't feel as kind of grounded, or like that, I have a plan for the day because I'm just waiting on the weather, or like whatever extra events are on, or things are traveling, because there's always a lot more of that during the summer. So I really love when this time of year comes in, because it's like, okay, people aren't as available, there's not as much on. So it allows me to really take more time for me to do my structure or to do my plan. And normally the plan stays the same Monday to Friday, or, whatever way it is that you work. So yeah, my system really, really feels safe, and my mind feels calmer, knowing that I'll be eating at the same time every day, that I'll be doing the same things every day, because repetition builds safety and it builds resilience. Because if we wake up and we don't know what we're doing every day, a lot of time is wasted in planning. So if you plan once, set the schedule, and it doesn't mean that you can't be flexible, because this is a Virgo imbalance, is not being flexible. You can change, but leaving your life or your days on a whim all of the time is wasted energy. It's a waste of life. Whereas you can look back and be like, wow, look at all of what I set out to do and I accomplished, 90% or 80% or whatever. And especially for women, because we have a 28-day cycle. So when I started living in sync with my cycle, or if you don't have a period, living in cycle with the moon, and this is why I love doing moon rituals, it's because the moon will teach you how to flow through life. Think about the sun. The sun gets up every day and goes out down every night. It is the same. Whereas the moon grows larger and then disappears. So we are in tune with the moon, and men are in tune with the sun, masculine and feminine, yang and yin. But how many of us women are attuning ourselves to the sun and literally becoming burnt out because it's too much? It's too 24-hour cycle, and that's not how we run. We run on a 28-day cycle. So when I know that I'm in ovulation or menstruation, or my follicular phase or my luteal phase, or whatever phase that I'm in, I know what energy I'm going to have here, more or less. So I can set my monthly schedule to do certain things during those phases. And like I said, if you don't have a bleed or a moon time, you can just go on the cycle of the moon, because you will be very much more in sync with that. So it's about planning. New moons are about planning, focusing your energy. So then you can execute that then out over the next 28 days or the next month. So it's really, really exciting time to get into that Virgo energy, get grounded, get planning. And I'm sure many of you, and I've been speaking to so many of you, that you're absolutely exhausted. The summer has been fun. There's been so much on, and you've been going here, there, and everywhere, and you're exhausted, absolutely exhausted because you have been on for the last 3 months. So when I was tuning in for the energy of this ritual, all I felt was like, ah, this big, big sigh of relief because it's like, okay, all of the summer is finished now, and I can just lay low for some time. I can just like coast now, or just like, you know, go at a slower pace because we're going into autumn. It's about letting go. So, what extra curriculum activities do you now think that, I can let go of that? I can release that energy now to create more space because that's what autumn is all about, releasing the leaves so that the energy can go back down into the soil, into the roots to prepare for the springtime. So it's about an inward journey. Summertime is a very outward journey. Now we are going in. So if you are Vata, so more of like an air energy, this is a really good time for you now to start eating like more wholesome foods or more soups or more root vegetables to help you to ground. Because another thing that came through this morning is the busyness of the mind, thinking of all of the things that you have to do. So they're up here thinking, but the minute you bring that down onto a piece of paper and make a plan, the mind goes, okay, I can see now, where I can put all of these things. Because if you keep it up here, it becomes very chaotic, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Whereas if you bring that down, lay it out, make a plan, the mind goes, oh, okay, now we can follow this plan and execute. And that leaves more room for inspiration. It leaves more room for growth. It leaves more room for your higher self to connect with you. Because if you're constantly in the mind, thinking, thinking, the higher self is looking, going, there's no room for me to come in with inspiration, or there's no room for me to come in and support you in opening up to new possibilities. So I'm really, really excited to hear if that's resonating with you, or if that helps you to put some perspective on how you're feeling. Because oftentimes with these rituals or ceremonies, or even when we have sharing circles, you're like, yeah, that's the way I've been feeling, but I couldn't put it into words. I just thought it was me. It's never really just you. It's the energy that we are in the macrocosm, and it's affecting us in the microcosm in our own vessel. But we are all connected. We are all this one big pool of consciousness. So it's great to be able to express and share, because it's like, okay, now I know that this is temporary. This is the energy that we're in right now, and this is what I need to do. So fail to plan, plan to fail. Because, I've lived my life on a whim, and it feels meaningless, unfulfilling, and that it has no purpose. But when I start planning and putting these creative, inspirational ideas and thoughts and, showing up for myself, that's when I started to feel more fulfilled, more passionate, more energized. When I started to really put my soul purpose into action. And if you don't know what your soul purpose is, that's okay. Just keep putting your energy into your future self, this dream or desire, or this want that you have, into something. So that was a lot of talking. You can comment underneath this video and let me know how this is landing with you or resonating. And I'm going to pull some cards for some more guidance and inspiration. I'm sorry, my voice is like really husky today because we had a beautiful festival, the Spirit of Waterford Festival out in Dunmore in the Haven yesterday, and oh, my heart is so full. It was just the most incredible day. So probably some of you here were there yesterday, and yeah, just wow. There is no words to describe the magic that was shared. Okay, so put your energy, your focus, any dreams, desires, or questions that you may have into the cards. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Ooh, I love when they come flying out. I feel like there's a lot on your mind, a lot of questions that you want clarity to. Ooh. Okay. Mm, okay, let's go for one more. Great. So this card comes up a lot. And for me, last year, it was all about going deeper and going into those dark places. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what are you trying to show me? And it was really this year when I decided, okay, I'm not going to hold back anymore. I'm just going to go there. Wherever there is, I don't know, but I will be shown. So it's trusting that, like, you're walking around in the dark, and then the universe or source takes you by the hand and is like, okay, go this way. And you open your eyes and you're like, ah, this is a new place. So this is the kind of mentality that we need to trust the universe. It's like, okay, I'm blind. I'm um I'm blind to see because I'm not ready to know yet. Because maybe we're physically not ready, mentally not ready, spiritually not ready. But when we are ready, the universe or source will catch us by the hand and bring us into the right direction. And then we'll be able to see. So the first card is deep sea diving. See? Way of the Mystic, learn through experiencing depths. So I absolutely love this card because you can see she's just with her heart diving into this portal, diving into this diving into the depths, because so many of us live our lives on the surface, and it's a really, really superficial place. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's like, it's the known. So this superficial level place is what we know and what we've always known. So it feels really safe. It's reliable, but it can feel like Groundhog Day. It's like every day is bleeding into the next. Way of the Mystic. So the mystic is always unveiling the truth. So I find myself like, okay, what's behind that? So if you've been to Glastonbury, it's like, okay, how can I peel back this layer of the chaos that is all around here to really feel the magic? And it's like, there's ancient Avalon, but it's just about peeling it back. Now, you don't have to be in Glastonbury to do that, but it's just way more obvious there. So when, life becomes very mundane, or like I'm struggling to feel the magic, I'm like, okay, there's magic everywhere. How can I just peel it back to see beyond the veil, to see beyond the illusion? Learn through experience. So there's none of us sitting here watching this and are where we are we because we haven't been through experiences. We've all grown and learned, whether it's through school, a relationship, becoming a mother, going to learn something, that we are in the awareness that we are now because of that experience. So whether that was a pleasant or unpleasant experience, or a positive or negative experience, it still helped us to grow and evolve to who we are today. And then depths. So if you feel like you're like, okay, I'm just going to stay here because I'm absolutely petrified of public speaking or putting myself out there or saying how I really feel, that's what you need to lean into, because it's that fear is like leading you to this portal or to these depths where the magic is, where the new experiences are, where your next soul growth is. So I know you can do it. And I know there's something there that you're like, I really want to do it, but I'm so petrified. Do it. Because do you want to be sitting here this time next year and be like, I'm still afraid to do the thing that I really want to do? Whereas you could be sitting here this time next year, be like, I'm so glad I did that thing and felt the fear and felt the awkwardness and felt the, the beginnerness of it all. But now I'm much more comfortable with it. Okay, my legs are gone dead. Okay, really exciting card. Birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? So, oftentimes we only think of our womb space when we have our period, a hysterectomy, when we're trying to have children, but there's so much more there. So, if you bring yourself back to when you were a child, what were you passionate about? What did you love to do? Did you love to teach? Were you artistic? Did you love to create things, mix things, bake things? So really allow yourself to go back to that innocence. And perhaps you stopped doing that thing because you went down a different road, or you listened to somebody else and not your heart. But put your hand on your womb space and be like, okay, what's there? What's ready to be birthed into this world? Because it's through this transitional stage that the caterpillar turns into a butterfly. And I was walking the other day, and there was a little caterpillar walking across the path, and I looked down and I literally said, I was like, oh my God, you do not even realize what you're about to transform into. And I giggled because like I felt like Alice in Wonderland, like this, this child, this dreamer of like the magic is there and you don't even know what's ahead. Yes, you will experience pain through this transformation, but you're going to be able to fly soon, and you're like trying to make your way around this tarmac to the other side, but like you're going to have wings soon. So, we never really know what's ahead, but if we drop into the perspective of wow, there's something greater here for me. How can I lean into that? The next card then is beneath the surface. What's really driving you? True motivation, breaking free. So we have a lots of cards, talking about depths. So a lot of people say, oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Yes, because none of us really want to go down underneath because it's scary. It's the unknown. We've only just figured out this part up here, and now you want me to go down there. It's like, yes, that's the journey going in. That's the feminine way down here. The masculine is up there. The feminine is going down, deep down into the earth. So, what drives you? Is it money? And that's okay if it is. Is it your dream body? Is it relationships? Is it travel? What drives you? And when you are able to connect with your why, that's when you can really begin to hone in and focus your energy. True motivation. So, I jumped out of bed this morning because I was like, yes, I can't wait to tune in now for this ritual, because I get so much, just as much out of it as you. So, that's what motivates me, being able to share this, but also being able to experience it as well. Breaking free. So, like I was saying in the beginning about breaking free from those limiting beliefs or those perspectives that are no longer serving you. But if you aren't aware from them, how can you break free from them? So that's why I'm saying sit with those now and really do an analysis of what's going on upstairs between the two ears. And then when all of that work is done, the pink dolphin, celebration, fun, unbridled joy, and open heart. So you can see here, she's just relishing in the magic. She's just really in her life. She's really connected. Like the dolphins are these esoteric and highly intelligent animals that are connected to the other realms. And they talk to each other at this really, really high frequency. They speak light language, basically. So she is connected to that magic, because she is now celebrating how far she's come. She's having fun in the moment, and she's just emanating this joy. When was the last time that you felt like that? You know, if it's been a year or 6 months, it's like, why not feel like that every week, every day? But you know, some of us have taken this oath of suffering, that life is meant to be hard, life is meant to be stressful, this is just the way life is being, or is supposed to be. um but it doesn't have to be if you change your perspective. Just because everybody else lives in misery doesn't mean that you have to sign up for that. So how can you open your heart and invite in more joy? I really, really like those cards. They're so positive, but with each step, it's about going in, going deep. And it's really interesting then that we have Virgo energy, which is about grounding and going in. Because if we're not in our body, we will experience a lot of anxiety, overwhelm, stress. So this is about really feeling safe in your own temple, in your own body, so that you can create that resilience to face the challenges or to face the hard times and know that I have everything within me. I've never faced a challenge and not been able to navigate it. And that's sometimes what we forget. So with all that said, our new moon ritual is going to be a really, really slow, steady, grounded flow where we're going to connect with our breath, where we're really going to drop in so that we can be open to receive the magic of this new moon and the magic of this new month, and prepare ourselves for this transition. So whenever you're ready, let's get on our mats.